Hey guys, and welcome to the inaugural edition of the Church Video School Field Trip. Today, I'm at Church of the Open Door in Glendora, California, which is just blocks away from the college I actually attended way back in the day, Azusa Pacific University. So total flashbacks this entire week. I spent a couple of days doing an install for this church. They're getting ready to move back into the space we're in right now, their worship center. They haven't been meeting in here for about 14 months, which is crazy. And at the end of next month, late June, they're going to be moving back in here. So I came in and we upgraded their system so that when they move back in here, things are better than they've ever been. And in the meantime, they're going to be able to stream more effectively and make it easier on their volunteers while they're still meeting outside in this giant tent, which is super cool. I'm sure they're ready to get out of there, but it is kind of neat to see that. So in this video, I'm going to take you around. We're going to look at the tech. We're going to look at what I plugged in and the software and hardware and how we rigged things to improve their system, make it easier for their volunteers to operate and enable them to get back to focusing on doing ministry instead of focusing on the tech, which is really just here to support the work that the church is doing. So I'm going to show you around, so stay tuned. All right, guys, so we're going to start this field trip here in the tech booth because where else would you start? And over here is Josh Kim. Josh is the new worship pastor here at Church of the Open Door. He's only been here a few weeks. Josh, what's it like leading worship in a tent?
Leading worship in a tent is really nice. You get a nice breeze, and I don't think you get that indoors. It's a cool experience, and you feel awesome when you take guitar solos.
Nice. Well, I can't top that. Josh, you're the man, by the way.
You're the man, Spencer.
Thanks, bro. So we'll take a quick look around the room here. As you can see, it's full of stuff. Like I said, they have not met in here for 14 months. They actually have been filming some stuff over there. We did a training earlier tonight, so we kind of moved stuff around for that too. But in about, 5 weeks, there'll be people in here for the first time?
Yep, and it's pretty exciting. It's going to be my first time here for the first time.
Well said. So when I got here, they already had this production 4K. This is like a mini rack over here. So this production Studio 4K is kind of the hub now, but they actually were using it just as a distributor and actually streaming through the A10 Mini Pro. So they were putting all their sources in here and cutting on this. And then they were using like one output from this iMac actually to send ProPresenter from this machine into that guy and then out a 150 foot or 100 foot long SDI cable, which goes, you can see them right there. They go out this wall and outside into a totally other building, which is the tent. So what we did is basically moved off of the A10 Mini Pro because it's pretty limited. We don't really need that anymore. We got a new Mac Mini here. Big fan of the M1 Mac Mini. So we're using the Mac Mini and we're continuing to use this iMac. We've got our multi-view setup over here now. So what we did, because they're needing this to work in the meantime, as we kept ProPresenter on this machine, and they actually have a campus license, so we put another one on this machine that they'll use when they move indoors. So for now, this is actually going to be their ATEM software control computer. As you can see, I actually have that up on both. So we kind of have redundant systems right now. So for the next 5 weeks, they're going to run ProPresenter on this computer. This ProPresenter computer here, which is what they have been using, is still going into their multi-view, into the switcher. So you've got what's going to the TVs in the tent, just as basically a front of house feed. And then they were just wanting to use this chroma key for their live stream lower third, which you probably can't see, but there is some lower third graphics there. And then what we did over here is we actually added our new ProPresenter feeds that we will be using, or they will be using when they move inside from the M1. So we got the DeckLink Duo set up over here. We have 4, so we're streaming back in on channel 4 into ProPresenter. So our program feeds coming out of the switcher into the DeckLink and into the Mac Mini via this DeckLink Duo card. So we're streaming through ProPresenter 7. We've got a key and fill going out to ProPresenter, and then our third is our stage display. And then their front of house feeds will be coming out the final Thunderbolt port back here into this splitter, which we were testing today through HDMI. So That's why there are 4 different ProPresenter feeds going in. We set up key and fill because they will be wanting to use motion backgrounds once they move back indoors. And that's going to just let them use those in a little bit more efficient way, but also switch between um, basically like just transparent lyrics and also colored background lyrics using ATEM. So I'll show you. If you set up a downstream key and you're sending basically no background and you put it on, then you're going to get something very similar to the upstream key a lot of you have been using. But if you add a background inside ProPresenter, which I'll do over here, so this is the feed that they will be using, you can see we've now got a full color feed. So we have a key that's keying out the entire image, filling it with this entire full image, and I've masked that over here. So now they're just getting it's slightly transparent, which you may not be able to see, but that's basically what we're doing for them. So they've got a downstream key set up so that no matter what kind of slide they're using, it's going to be easy for their volunteers to just turn that on and turn it off. And then if it's a full screen graphic that they just want to use, obviously you can just select that input and cut to it like a camera, but it's also been set up just as a downstream key to cover the entire image on number 2, because there are 2 downstream keys in this 4K production. So then it just grabs it and lays it on top, and we're good to go. So again, there's a bunch of ways to do everything. Just wanted to make it as easy as possible for their team. We also added a 3rd camera, so we've got camera 1, camera 2, camera 3. They're all GH5 cameras. They had 2 GH5s before I got here, so we added a 3rd. Just because it's better to stay with one manufacturer. I thought about doing the BGH1, but honestly, the sensor is it's barely different than the GH5. I didn't think it was worth dealing with a completely different body style and connection points when they already had functioning GH5s. So we just went for 3 of those. If they add a 4th camera in the future, maybe we'll do something more exciting. But that's kind of the layout that we put into place. So right now, they can use this ProPresenter computer to work everything the way that they've been doing it, and then when they move inside, we'll get rid of those outputs. We'll do that, and we've run a program feed from the back of this basically out into those TVs through those super long SDI runs. So that'll be an overflow venue. When people move inside, they'll still be able to worship outside and get a complete, experience without any lag, because we're not going through the cloud or anything like that. All right, so finally, we did a little bit of audio tweaking, but their system is pretty much functioning. They've got Dante running through these TF1s. They actually have like 4 of these all over the place. So they have one here. They have a TO 16 channels, like, Dante Snake stage box out there at the tent, and then another TF1 out in the tent. So this is receiving a copy of basically all the channels that are going to both places, and they're mixing for broadcast in here. So when they move in here, they're going to put their TF5 back out here that they've been working on to get serviced, and they're either going to just run a broadcast mix through a DAW out of this, or they're going to actually go into a production room they already have way back there backstage. And because it's Dante, they can just plug a TF1 into their Dante network, and it'll just connect, and they'll be able to mix it that way, which is super great. So we've done a little bit of tweaking with that, but that was already pretty much ready to go. So that's pretty much the setup. As you can see, just a simple multi-view here. This computer is the ability to either cut, because we put the switcher on the network, you can run this ATEM software control on any other computer on the network, which is why it's on both, is because we wanted to be able to just make it as seamless as possible. I actually airdropped the XML file from ATEM software control over here to the computer over here, so that all the settings that I put in to make it work the way we wanted it to would just copy and paste into this version. Again, we had a great training tonight. A lot of people came in, got to run this stuff for the very first time and see how it works. So over here in ProPresenter 7, obviously a lot of you can stream through that. They're just doing regular RTMP streaming for now, but we'll see if they have any connectivity issues as they test that out over the next few days. So far the tests have been great, but you never know what Sunday morning is going to look like on your local network. But it's just live start capture, and we've only enabled this video input layer on the stream audience, so that it won't show up anywhere else. And the stream audience has everything else turned off, so you won't accidentally put an announcements layer on top of your live stream and not see anything. So that is the setup. There's plenty of cable management and cleanup left to do, but everything is working and we've had a great time. So check out their live stream, give Josh some love. He just got started down here, and thanks for watching. All right, guys, I hope this has been fun. I hope they've learned some stuff about the setup we're doing here to take home and implement at your church. I know a lot of churches right now, as we're getting out of spring and into summer, are looking at doing some major work in their live streaming and production setups, because we've got a great opportunity between now and when people come back to school in the fall and we kind of launch things to really make those changes that I think a lot of us have been wanting to make for the last year, but just haven't had the space or time. So again, I hope this has been helpful for you, and I'd love to help you in your church if you're looking at making an upgrade but feel like you have no idea how to get there. So click the link in the description below, book a call with Church Video School. I'd love to talk with you or someone else on my team, and we'll coach you through the best way to get the help that you need, whether that's courses or an install or something in between. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.